On this episode of Pistonhead Garage, the Skyline gets some boost. What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Pistonhead Garage. I'm Garrett, and on this episode it's the next installment in my R34 Skyline build with a 2J swap. In this episode I'm going to be installing my single turbo. The kit that I got is from Drift Motion. It's a complete kit, everything you could possibly want minus the turbo. The turbo, I kind of went the cheap route and got an eBay turbo. It's a 68mm Rev 9. I've heard some decent things about them. Despite being cheap, they're not as prone to exploding as some other eBay turbos may be. So we're going to put it on, give it a shot, see what happens. But I won't talk too much about it. Let's just get right to it. The first step in installing my turbo kit is to install all the oil feed and drain adapter flanges. I'm going to start with the one on the oil pan by removing the old gasket and bolting the new adapter on. After that was done, I removed the factory banjo bolt for the oil feed from the block and installed the AN adapter fitting supplied with the kit. With the adapter in place, I can then install the oil feed line. While I'm in here, and before the turbo manifold gets in the way, I'm going to install a cap on one of the factory coolant return fittings. I then installed my modified upper water neck, which had been straightened out in order to fit with my stock R34 rad. Now is on to prepping the turbo. I started by fitting the adapter flange for the oil drain. Followed by the fitting for the feed. Once that was done, I installed the wastegate onto the turbo manifold. It was definitely easier to do this first. It's almost impossible to get at underneath the car, especially with the R34 having the steering box in the way. With the manifold assembled, I can then install it onto the engine. I just ran the nuts down by hand, just enough to hold it on there so I could test fit the turbo and orient the compressor housing correctly. And boom, there it is. So I kind of skipped over me struggling for an hour trying to get this thing clocked right to save you the agony that I had to endure. But anyway, all you missed really was me rotating the front housing a little bit, and then I installed the oil feed line on the top there, and then the oil drain line just bolts into the bottom and then screws onto the plate on the oil pan that you saw earlier in the video. So it's pretty straightforward. The intake was modified from a Drift Motion turbo kit intake. There's normally a big metal aluminum pipe that goes here with some fittings for it. This right here, this hose goes nowhere right now because normally it goes into the intake for the crankcase vent system basically. That's obviously going to get routed into a catch can. And then because I got rid of that aluminum part, all I did was take this coupler and cut it a little bit, and then made a little piece of aluminum, cut a piece of aluminum here, the tube, to clamp the filter on, and then shortened it right out because in the Supra, this area here is way longer and there's much more room, whereas you can see I have no room here. And then of course down below, which I don't know if you can see very well, that red coupler down there, that's going out and around to the intercooler, which I'll show you right now. So you can see it kind of comes out and around. And then up here by the turbo side, also not very visible, but down there the turbo comes out facing towards the fuse box, and then does a hard 90 towards the front of the car, and that actually ended up working out pretty well. It's tight, but it fits. And then of course I won't touch on it too much in this video, but in the back here I have my downpipe, which was modified to fit this car. This downpipe is also part of the Drift Motion turbo kit, and it was made for a left-hand drive Supra. So if you have a right-hand drive Supra or an Aristo, it's going to take some mods to make it fit, not by much. But if you have an R34 Skyline, it's going to take a lot of modifications because there's this thing called a steering shaft that goes right down there, obviously for the steering, and it's basically hits on everything. So there's definitely some clearance issues there, which we had to get around, and I managed to make it work with some shoddy welds. And this eliminates the need for, you know, the brake booster delete for the twins, as well as my clutch line was rerouted, and it no longer, you know, binds on anything. It doesn't get close to the exhaust. So going to the single turbo was definitely the way to fix my issues. So that's it basically for this video. I've got a lot more to go through before this thing is all buttoned up, but in the next video you will see it start, and I'll show you some basics of the ECU. Well guys, that's it for this episode of Pistonhead Garage. Part 7 should be coming out pretty soon of my Skyline build, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't. Make sure you're sharing with your friends, and as always, I'm Garrett, and I'll see you next time on Pistonhead Garage.